Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Shadow from SG TCG, bringing you guys the next round of the locals at game night in Summit. I ended up facing the owner in this match. I won dice roll and I chose to go second just so that I could throw the Katakuri off curve. Since Katakuri likes to go second so that their first turn potential pudding and then turn 2 play Parasparrow and still swing 7 with the lead. So going first is the best option to throw them off curve, but it also depends on your deck. So I open up with a stage. I'm going to tap the stage, chuck in Ichiji and search top 3. And I believe I'm going to grab a Niji. Yep. I'm grabbing Niji. And then I'm going to pass turn over to my opponent. I'm going to swing 5. I believe I'm going to just take it. I opt to not counter. I could have countered with the Niji that I just got, but I wanted to keep it for a search. And he plays out a Parasparrow. I'm also trying to find different pieces from life because I don't think I had much. I was basically finding everything from stage at this point. So I'm going to use stage, chuck the Niji. I'm going to look and I grab a Reiju. So now I have all 3 of the big rangers, and at this point I just got to establish the little rangers. So I'm going to swing 6 at life. He counters out with a 2k, and then I tap 3 to play Porsche out. Do her ability to Don minus. Look at top 5 cards for Foxy Pirates, which I am running Gina, Chopper, and Porsche. So I do not get a hit, unfortunately, but I play out the Niji from her, and then I'm gonna draw from the Don minus from her initial ability because you have to complete Porsche's ability prior to drawing. So play out the Niji, Don minus with him, bounce the Parasparrow back. So now this turn he can only swing at me with leader ability, or if he stacks all his Don on the pudding. So he's unable to swing at me with 3 different swings. So here he's gonna swing 7, 6 attaches a Don, but with leader ability he could look at my life or his own life and rearrange it, and then it gets an extra 1,000. So he's swinging for 7. Here I'm gonna counter out for 3k. Don't want to take all that damage, so I end up countering with the Reiju and the Gina, and he plays out the Parasparrow again. Now I'm up to 4 Don. I'm trying to figure out if I should use stage, which I do, and I chucked the big Ichiji. So I had all big Ichijis, but no little red, and I just found it off stage search, so which is perfect. So I'm gonna swing 5. He's gonna counter out, swing 6. I believe he counters out of this as well, and then with leader gives me another 1k, or no, it gives me a 2k, which is better for me. Then I play out the Ichiji, Don minus, draw a card. You know, reduced Parasparrow, doesn't matter since it's active, and then swing for 7. He ends up triggering out a Kikanojo just because he's got it like that. If I would have countered out of the initial swing of 5, I would have prevented this Kikanojo trigger, but I opted to take the swing, so this is what it resulted in. So I passed the turn over to him. I believe he's currently at 7 Don. And him swinging and attaching a leader shows me that he does not have 7 Mom, which works in my favor. I probably would have trashed life, or I would have probably gave him a life, just because I'm not sure at the moment, but I'm running kind of low on that. I definitely would have gave him one because of the onslaught. I would have countered out. Jesus, I can't talk. I would have discarded just because he's going wide right here. If he would have played 7 Mom, everything would have been low. I could have countered out of everything. So I countered out of that Parasparrow with 3k, and then here he's going to attach all of it onto Kikanojo and swing for 9. I take it, don't have to counter for it. He does leave 1 Don up. I believe he has a Blaze Slice in hand. I personally would have just swung out with all the Dons. So right now it's a waste of a Don in my eyes. He could have used it and swung big, and I would have probably been at 0 life at this point if he would have utilized that 1 Don on leader or the Parasparrow to swing for 8. I end up doing stage and chucking the Judge, and I considered taking the Sora for a 2k counter, but I decided to go with the Niji, and you're gonna see why in this play. I'm gonna swing 5 at the Parasparrow with the Porsche. Swing first with the Porsche just in case something happens. He could have Blaze Sliced and rested the Porsche if I didn't do it this way. So he counters out, swing 5 again. I believe this time he lets it go. Yep, so it does go. He searches top 3, and he gets a pudding, which was the only card he was able to grab out of this. It was almost a whiff on the Parasparrow search, which would have been perfect for me. I swing 6 at his life, and I swing 7, and I believe he's going to take the 7 as well. And he's no trigger, so I play 3 out for a baby Niji, Don minus, and I'm going to play the Niji out from my hand to bounce the Kikanojo, so now he's unable to swing at me with that the next turn. Following up with the baby chopper, chump block, but it ramps me back that Don that I just Don minus. So now I potentially can get out of a big swing from a pudding, or even his leader swing if it opted to that way. So he starts out with Blaze Slice, which does rest my chopper, gives his pudding a 1k buff, I believe, is what he opted to do. And here he's going to swing out and swing big with the pudding. I think I do take this, and I think I was able to counter out of this swing, but I decided to bait him for it just because if he didn't see me take the life, he would have probably opted to choose to swing at one of the bodies, and I need all the characters on the field right now just so that I could solidify, the next turn. And he looks at his top life and he puts it at the bottom, which you already know if he's putting it at the bottom, it could either be a blocker Sanji, zero cost event, or a Beji. So always want to put the best triggers at the bottom when you're playing yellow. So I end up finding the little red off a stage search. So now I know I can have another rush attack, and I'm going to begin with a 5 swing with the Porsche just so that I could bait out whatever type of counter he has in hand. He does have a lot, but it's going to at least take 1 out. Then I'm going to attach 1 Don, swing for 7 with the Niji. He's going to take it, and then he gets a Nami trigger, and he KOs the other Niji. But it shows me that if he took that 7, he potentially has no counter in his hand. So I'm going to swing with the leader for 7 as well, and he takes this, and he ends up triggering the zero cost event, which is exactly what I said. A lot of the time when yellow moves a card in life to reposition at the bottom, it's usually something to save him. I swing 7 with the Ichiji again, and here he's going to take it, and he triggers out, I believe, a Nami, and it's going to KO my chopper, but he's going to give away a trigger from his hand, and he draws a card since it'll put him at 3 cards in hand. So once this happens, I basically know I was already going for game, but if it's basically make or break, if I don't get it right here, he wins the game. So I'm going to tap 4, play the Ichiji, Don minus, play out the big one, swing for 7, and it does connect for game. If you guys like the content, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down below what you guys thought, and catch you guys in the next one.